to podcast 1 week. I feel like it was yesterday. It's because we weren't. And I need a ride back to the auto mechanic shop who lovingly sent me an invoice last night.
They did. Me, 1-2. Is it eavesdrop or eaves drop?
Eva's drop.
Like Eve, I gotta look up like the history of why it was
drop.
What was she drop? Apples?
Yeah, she dropped that apple.
Well, I was Eve's dropping on Heather yesterday, and the auto mechanic had told her the price, and Heather misunderstood. I don't know.
The psychology is wildly interesting.
It was crazy.
I was already in a panicked fever state.
Already panicked. Heather was worried because Heather messed with her car, took out some
YouTube certified. Please come to me for all your mechanical needs.
The lights were dark in the back. Basically, she was riding blind. So she needed to get it fixed by professionals because they know what they're doing. And these people were going to charge their worth. They know
their worth. They have listened to the podcast.
But Heather had braced herself for a total of $2,500 is what she said in her mind that she would be okay with paying.
So I budgeted.
What she had budgeted.
My wallet said I was okay with paying, but it was also wincing and hoped it would be spared.
When she was talking to this auto mechanic John on the phone, did T-Mobile have a little in the system when he quoted the price? Heather heard.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you the psychology went to. John called and said, "Hey, we want to do more than I initially quoted you."
I would be like, absolutely not. But then again, I had to get a new car.
He said, I'm just doing scheduled maintenance, but the car is now 10 years old and I drive a ton.
She drives like a maniac, guys. You know how when you were learning to
follow along.
Listen. When you're learning to drive, I've always been act as if your passenger has a hot cup of tea in their hands.
Are you texting them while they're holding?
Heather says, "I've been going to put that tea onto their bodies."
I don't think I drive that crazy anymore.
You do stop fast.
You stop and go fast. Brakes are kind of grippy.
Thank God.
I'm surprised.
Because when I'm behind you, I got a grip to save my life.
Anyways, John calls. So when I drop the car off, he said, "I'll only call you if there's an issue." Then while we're recording the podcast, he calls. Of course, I take the call,
Heather,
and he's
heart rate now up.
Yeah, and he says, I'm going to quote you some additional things we recommend. Okay. And he said, because if we change the shocks and the struts, but we don't do the sway bars, you're still going to get the noise.
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't hear any noise when I dropped it off, so I don't know what noise the boy was talking about other than the cha-ching sound. But then I said, okay, could you break down this invoice?
But he quoted you the full price.
No, I hadn't gotten the entire price.
Because I heard you and you it sounded like you had a heart attack.
I had to grab a ledge to stable myself.
But Timo, there was a tinge bit of he said his number and Heather heard $3,900.
I thought he said $3,900. I think the value of that car, on a good sunny day, is about $5,000. Yeah. So to put in $4,000 in a car worth $5,000, now we got a math problem. I didn't want to buy a new car. So it's that, at the end of life of any car, you have the question of how much is keeping this car roadworthy, sinking cost into something that isn't.
The car has been an angel baby.
It is a
tank.
A tank. The thing can't be stopped.
It cannot.
I've tried to stop it with other cars, and it just keeps going. But so I did say, "Well, John, I don't think my Botox was ready." Because
Heather turned from mine instant red, instant flushed.
I budgeted $2,500. He's coming in at $4,000.
4 G's.
I'm like, I know I shouldn't have tinkered, but holy crappy, I might just drive without lights.
Heather, before I just hear, can you break down this invoice, my boy John? Please, it makes sense.
John says, blah, blah, blah. He's going through each of these. The prices all make sense. That it's more than that. I got tires, I got alignment, I got, honestly, a safety inspection, and among other, a bunch of stuff. Yes. Then he's like, so then the total's $2,900. And I said, boy, I thought you said $3,900.
Let me tell you, Heather's face turned in from pure.
Did you say turned it?
Turned it? No, turned into. Oh. Turned into pure.
It turned
into pure. She thought her face looked like she was getting a deal.
Yeah.
Because she was originally quoted what she heard to be $3,900 when it was in actuality only $2,900. Did she actually save any money?
Funniest thing. No, I didn't. But when I gasped, he added coupon. When I thought it was $3,900, I said, Lord, please be with me in my wallet. He's like, no, I can add some coupons. So he suddenly takes off $150. He said, so that'll bring the total down to $2,700. I said, well, what kind of coupons are those bad boys? But what John said, I said, John, I honestly thought you said 3,900 at 2,700. Let's do it. Thank you so much. And he said, well, if you thought this was 3,900, then it sounds like a bargain at 2,700. And I said, yeah, in my head, I didn't bore John with this. I said, yeah, I anchored to that higher price. And that is kind of what we see clients doing.
Yes. And brace yourselves, because we'll have those Black Friday sales all about us this coming week into next week. And you are going to see things that look amazing. 50% off, slashed $200.
You remind me of this meme, and I'm going to post it after this. I know you just posted a meme, and I don't want this meme page, and it's like, hold. And then it's like a discount, hold. And then it's like the same exact price, but it has a slash to it. And it's like, go.
But that is what we have to brace ourselves for. It feels great to feel like we're getting a deal. Heather did not get a deal. She got a miscommunication.
I got a deal, $3,900. My brain honestly felt soothed. Whatever dopamine release there was when I misunderstood, there was that whatever stress hormone. And then when I understood correctly, plus my $150 coupon, then I suddenly was like, oh, wow, I feel so much better. It was almost that the brain overcorrected and released that dopamine, the serotonin, and was like, great job, honey. You saved $1,000.
I should say, pay for a dozen cookies, get 12 for free.
That is a great point. So when we think about the psychology of pricing, what I'd love to pitch to people is value, a dollar is relative.
It is.
It is relative to one's needs and actually the value of a dollar.
Heather had, and I don't know how, Heather's reading books all the time or whatever. Me, I'm just living vicariously through Heather. 0 of the reading, all of the knowledge.
Olive Garden is a plethora of thoughts.
Heather had brought this up in years past. I know she likes to bring it up every single year, kind of like my business. Anyways, Heather said there was maybe a study done, and it was if $20 off of $100 pair of shoes, we'd be like, I'm going to go to the store down the road that has the shoes for $20 off.
Yeah, if you went to 2 stores and one store quoted the $20 off, you definitely large majority.
Yeah. Say, oh, not $20.
Saving $20 off of 100.
If you are at a Home Depot and there's an outdoor patio set and it is $2,000, but you could get it off $20 off down the road,
You will not drive.
You would say, no, that's not worth it.
Relative value of discounts. So for one, you would drive $20 because $20 in relation to 100 is a huge deal. But $20, the same $20, the same value in relation to 2,000 would not cause you to drive down the road. And that is so wild because the client who balks at your price just needs to be convinced of its value, not necessarily that you're out of their budget. At the end of the day, everyone's driving cars that are probably nicer than the ones we required. Ask me how I know.
Except for you.
Pay for it. And then we have to, and then we turn around and say that's too expensive. It's all relative. So when you hear a client say that's too expensive, what you should translate it is I'm not convinced of the value exchange here. Because again, $20 is relative to the price of everything.
Yeah.
So if someone says that's too expensive, there was a question asked last night where, a bride had approached a baker and said, hey, I was wondering if I order the same exact cookie 12 times for my bridesmaids, can I get a discount? And, OP was like, hey, I don't know how to respond to this. I don't want to provide the discount. I'm not even charging enough as is. So a lot of people said, well, just tell her no. Just say no. Listen. At the point that she's already knocking on your door, the client, you have already expended the time, energy, and financial energy to get that lead. You've done the hard work. You've expended that cost.
Yeah.
She's right there. She's standing in front of the goalpost. All you do is have to kick the ball in. And the way you can do that is by creating a value proposition or manipulating it. So I said to OP, hey, listen, you're so close to making this sale. She's already knocked on your door. She's already done the hard part of talking to another human.
What you have.
I said, you can tell her, hey, I don't offer discounts for similar designs, but send me your inspo photos and we can either make a smaller cookie, in which case you can pass along the discount of ingredient supplies, or we can come up with a more simplistic design, in which case you can pass along the time savings. It at no point touches OP's pocket in a way. And the client who's already interested in buying probably will say, now this matches my value proposition. This is reaches into the equal exchange.
I know people love to say, like, no is a complete sentence. It truly is. It is. As a mom, I know that for a fact. I still get followed up by repeat questions, though. But when you have that time and money, it takes time to market. It takes money to market. It takes skills. You've learned photography. You've learned... There's the photography again. I said
photography.
You've learned the photography.
In one day, you have not learned to pronounce it correctly.
You've got the backers. You've learned how to create good copy. That, in and of itself, you've brought a lead to the table. And
at a cost. What you don't realize is until that lead converts, you're operating in a loss, right? So when you get the person to knock on your door and you just say, no, well, I say you didn't complete the sale. You were not the optimized salesperson. A good salesperson takes a no and turns it into a yes. That yes may look a little different than the original proposition. However, it is a yes, and there is an exchange of funds. So when I see in the threads, no, run, things like that, it is not conducive to a solid sales cycle. I always tell, our job in SEO is to get the phone to ring. After that, it's out of our hands. So, a client came back and said, the phone's ringing, but they're not converting. And I said, listen, all SEO does is get that phone to ring. I can't tell people they need to spend $20,000 more. I can get them to call your sales team. Yeah. After that, it's the sales team's job. That is their job, is to convert somebody by either adding more value, adjusting the invoice to accommodate pricing constraints, or something like that. It is not the job. You've already done the hard work of getting the lead. Now it's your job as a salesperson, and unfortunately for cookie people, we're all the things. We're the lead generator, we're the salesperson, we're the baker, we're the CEO. Then you have to turn around and you've got to kick that ball lightly into the goalpost and make it a win-win for both people. When I bring it back to John at Advanced Auto Tech in Springfield, Virginia, if I called John and said, John, whoa, that's a little expensive. Can we work on this? Is there anything I can maybe push off? No. John,
I think I'm gonna have to
John would never hear from me again. Yeah, I would never want somebody to reply to me with a no or with a really curt answer. Listen, we're all. The funny thing is, we've all been on the other side of that deal where we get priced something a little out of the budget or what we expected, and we don't want to be scolded.
To me, I like to go in and say, I want this, so sell it to me. I already want it. Now make it make sense for me.
You don't say that, do you?
I said it to the Grex guy. I'm going to buy this, but I want you to sell
it. You bought it, so you didn't stop. When somebody is knocking on your door, when somebody is hitting your DMs or they end up in your inbox, you've already expended the financial and time investment to get them to call. If you don't complete the sale, that's a loss, that time and energy in marketing.
Back when I sold cars, we were not allowed to let people leave without knowing why the sale didn't work. So we get to the very end, we run the numbers looks good, and they're like, yeah, we're going to go home and we're going to think about it. This is what we were trained to say. Well, Heather, we talked about the numbers, and this fits right into your monthly budget. The car has a sunroof that you've been dying, and you've already been to 5 dealerships. What's holding you back from buying this car today?
Great question. And what would be a typical answer?
They would say, I just, there's another car down the road, just want to see if it's a little better. And then when I know what's holding you back.
Now you have a whole strategy.
I cannot hold this car and hold on, phone's ringing. Someone else is interested in it. If you don't get it now, I'm going to have to let this car go.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you, friendy, who called me from the next cubicle.
But that introduces FOMO. So a lot of times, the dreaded, let me ask my husband, let me ask my wife.
Yeah.
That question is a game ender, because what they are actually saying is something right here doesn't align with me willing to part with my money. Okay, here's a great thing. When I go to the mall, I'm willing to part with my money. When I go to a restaurant, I'm willing to part with my money. Who wants to take it? And let's walk through a restaurant scenario. Let's say we go to Seasons 52. Every quarter Seasons releases this new menu or whatever. And there's these little blurbs under each menu item. That is called the copy. It's copy is text that is trying to sell something to you. As you read through that copy, you're going to find something that says, hey, this value in this copy right here for this menu item that you like is enough that you're willing to part with your hard-earned money. Yeah. Again, you could come and say, well, the sirloin, I love it, but it's not valuable enough for me to part with $30. But here, look at the filet salmon. the Salomon and say that at $28, again, $2.
Yeah,
$2
$2
wasn't the thing.
But to see the 30, mind, it's a mind, just like
it's a psychology. It's
Yeah.
a $3,900 to $2,900.
yeah, it is.
So when you think about pricing, both as a buyer this holiday season, and then as a seller this holiday season, there's a lot of psychology that goes into it, and you can save many a sale if you're willing to either increase what the customer thinks they're going to get or decrease your cost to the customer, and then you can kind of finagle with pricing. The same reason, people, why would somebody buy a BMW or a Mercedes? There's so many pricing psychology that's going on there. Well, you may like BMW. Why do you like BMW? I mean, we didn't obviously found the company. They look cool.
Yeah.
Okay, something about the aesthetic. And then you can kind of go down that route. So like we talked about in yesterday's podcast, assuming I post this today.
And assuming you listened to it yesterday.
Darn. Is you can be a more likable baker and then you won't have to compete on price.
Yes. You can sell yourself per se.
Right.
I will say, talking about objections in the sale, specifically to the one where I said, we had to find out why someone didn't buy the car before they left. When someone says, I have to go talk to my spouse before I ordered the dozen cookies, what I want you to say is, okay, it sounds like it does fit in your budget. I do want to let you know that I cannot hold your place on the calendar until I get the deposit by this date and this time.
We're a pay in full crew.
Some people aren't, but yeah. So if I can get the full payment by this day and this time, what you're doing is creating that FOMO. Everything makes sense. They just need to buy time for whatever reason, and that's okay. Some people can't part
You're
with.
shortening the sales cycle because now you're saying you have a time constraint, and you're also introducing FOMO, and you're introducing like a popularity contest. People want this slot. Do you want me to save it for you, or should I give it to somebody else?
To me, when someone reaches out to me for cookies, they are not reaching out for a best friend.
No.
They are reaching out for cookies. And it's my job to say, hey, I can make that for you. If you need more time, that's fine, but I'm going to try to close this sale right now. And if I give them all of every little sales tactic I know and I never hear back from them, well, I wasn't their right baker, but at least I can close that sale out and be like, I did everything good.
Also, it just helps with your business cycle. If you guys have a bunch of open invoices floating around there, you got a bunch of question marks and it's very hard to plan.
And then you're spending a lot of time going back to customer A. Hey, customer A, customer B really wants a spot. I don't know what to tell them. Please get back to me. And then they don't check their messages. No, when you have that person and they're coming to the end of that sales funnel and they are on the purchasing platform, you need to close it. You need to create the FOMO. You have their attention. Their wallet is open now. You just have to reach your hand in there and grab it.
It's so funny. So this is my strategy before every Black Friday. Make a list of the things that you're gifting people. I created, like I said, yesterday, a spreadsheet in Notion. Sign up for all their newsletters right now.
Yeah.
You're going to get the initial 10% off. Hold. Wait until Black Friday, and then you're going to get these 20, 30% off coupons or even more. And then I kind of created a spreadsheet to kind of
see where the world takes me. I want to be pulled in.
But sometimes those discount codes come through email.
I know.
So I definitely say, get on an email list.
Yes.
Because sometimes what they push out to social media may not be the highest. Whatever. Again, it's all relative. So there's this company I bought leggings from like a year and a half ago, right? So I'm in their hyper-targeted Facebook, whatever. They run ads constantly.
Yeah.
However, they act like the last ad the sale they ran never happened, right? So then obviously now we're approaching this Black Friday deal. I know that they just ran a sale on everything a month ago.
Yeah, right. It's the same one.
The way they did it, I thought was pretty interesting. They send out an email and they say, they called it Black Week because it's a whole week long, not Black Friday. So Black Week preview sale. Here's what you can expect. But when you click on the link, it's all just telling you what's coming.
Okay, but nothing was discounted?
Not yet. No, it starts on a certain day.
Okay.
So it says, sign up for text to get access 1 hour before everybody else.
I see what they're doing.
Okay, smart. Then it says, settle, you can't return anything because it's discounted so much. That's what they said. We can't do returns. And then it says, warning, we will not hold your cart.
Yeah.
I know none of this stuff will sell out because it's always on sale, right? But they're saying, we will not hold your cart. It is first come, first serve. Warning, we will sell out. That's what this preview email says.
I once put something in my cart and it had a timer on it. And I felt pressure.
Etsy,
yeah. No, I put everything in my cart. Etsy people, I'm so sorry. But if you put everything in your cart, they will send you discounts.
But think about this too. When you put something in your cart on Etsy, it's like 305 million people also have this in your
But I
cart.
had put this thing in my cart, and it was a countdown timer. I know it's like something you could add. It was on Shopify, this thing. So I'm like, oh, crap, I got to decide.
Yeah.
Then I said, Corey, pause. What is that timer set to? Is it set to 24 hours? 24 hours? I thought it was 5 minutes.
You need a countdown timer to count down. And count down.
I do want to bring up the Taylor Swift tickets yesterday.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, me and Heather are not music. We've never
Inclined.
been into musicians, going to concerts.
I was invited to something brown band.
Like
a country.
band. Hold on.
He's country.
Yeah, something brown band.
Zach.
Brown band. Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah, I only
I went
went.
to Post Malone. Again,
Oh,
I was
you
invited
did?
in these. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've never spent a cent on there.
I didn't either. I just went.
So me and Heather have never really felt that pull, to go visit an artist that we love because we don't love it.
Got Spotify, man.
Yeah,
I can
listen to
live
songs.
and it's
But Taylor Swift tickets went on sale yesterday. I've never seen such one captivated audience.
She's the top 10 Billboard 100. Every slot.
Yeah.
First
yes.
in the
Yeah.
history of
Yeah.
performers.
So she must be just awesome to watch perform. But people also, we've grown up with Taylor Swift. She's been going since I was in high school, I do believe. I think she's younger than
She's
us.
country.
Yeah.
Tim McGraw.
What happened was people went on like Ticket Hub. Is that right?
Sounds good.
Stubmaster.
StubHub?
Ticketmaster. I see what it is.
Stubmaster.
People went on those and they had the seats that they wanted in their carts. Went to check out, it crashed. When they went back in, the same seat was now $20 higher. Do you see the psychology? They turned angry.
They lost $20 in their head.
Yeah.
Even though they
never
expended
spent
no money.
Not spent 1 cent.
They anchored to the original price. That's why you don't want price anchoring to go up.
So TikTok was filled with people who were angry. Granted, the $20, which we'd probably spend on 4 Starbucks trips on a week,
Have you been to Starbucks? It's one Starbucks trip.
No,
and a
I've
half.
was something that made them so angry they made TikToks about how angry they were. I mean, I totally share their frustration, but they had not paid a penny. The prices were not released until the tickets
Here's
were
the
for
thing.
sale.
Ticket Stub Master discount needed to have said the tickets are $2,900. Oops, I'm just kidding. They're $500.
Yeah. And then people were like, I could do it.
There's a glitch in the system and I got one over.
Yeah.
And it's that positioning. Again, money is relative. For $20, if you bought a $100 pair of shoes, you drive down the street for $20 off of $2,000. If you want to make it in relation to a car, that was the actual comparison. It was called Dollars and Cents, the book. That a $30,000 car, $20 is nothing.
Yeah.
So again, the value of a dollar is economically relative to the day, but the value of a dollar is also relative to the person's perception of value. So how can you compete if we're not going to compete on price, other than as long as you got to protect your margin?
Yeah.
Right? That's why we don't talk about discounts a lot. They're an extremely highly effective way to move product. You can't discount when you don't charge a profit. So if your numbers are too low, I don't even want you to think the word discount. However, if you got a hefty, let's say you got a 20% margin, your ingredients costs are covered, your labor costs are covered, and your indirect costs are covered, then you can start really playing around. It's so funny. Black Friday or Prime Day.
Yeah.
There's a third-party app that you can add to like a Chrome extension called Camel. I don't know why. Camel 3 times, like the little humpback.
Okay, yeah.
Mammal. Camel. And all it does is tell you the price manipulation behind that product. If it was, because a lot of what happens on Prime Days is these sellers will increase the price a month leading up to Prime Day. Come Prime Day, they'll discount it 50%. It's not 50% off. It's back to the original price it was a month ago. So Camel will tell you that. However, get this. I don't download Camel. I know it exists. I know it's useful. However, price is relative. And if I want it now, that want, creating a desire of want is so strong.
Yeah.
And when somebody wants something, all you have to do is just barely tip them over to make that purchase. Like we said yesterday, that want is where the high is.
Yeah.
The purchase is the sad part.
Yeah. The amount that I can talk myself into purchasing something, I mean, I'm surrounded by stuff. Pretty high.
Where's your best salesperson?
But if I heard the word like at the start, no, it's full sentence, that would be the turn off. That would be like, I will die before I buy it.
Not only would I not buy, I would never. I would go as far if I messaged a company and all they wrote me back was no. I would blacklist the I would even block their page. I never want to see you. I never want to support you.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I was going to give you my hard-earned money. Not only did you not want it, you made me feel bad.
Yeah. About one.
If somebody who wanted a positive emotion, you sent them back with a negative emotion. So I don't honestly believe a lot of you guys are actually writing the word no. No. I think you're just doing that because it's a quick response in a group. But it's important to understand that if you're recommending someone write just the word no, you may be actually degrading their business. And that's a rough one. So it's, obviously no one has to take any advice in the whole wide world. But no is a complete sentence when it's a boundary. However, when we're talking sales, no is a segue into possibly making a sale, albeit maybe a little bit different than what you initially thought.
Yes.
Yeah, imagine that every time somebody asked you a question, you just said no if it was out of your scope.
I know. I know.
I don't think you'd have many people knocking
I don't
on
think
your door.
so. Just when I took all that sales training from selling cars, saying no wasn't an acceptable answer.
No.
And we did a lot of role playing,
Wow.
which I absolutely love to do.
We should do that on this.
Yeah, we should.
That'd be a good one.
It was so helpful because you're my friend, so I can set it up with you, and then we can plan what
And we
something
can give
would go.
feedback. Like
Yeah.
if you had said this, you would have got me.
Yeah.
Here's a great example. And I love putting in like when you're riding the pine pony. What's it called when you're on the bench?
Ride
and then
the
you have
pine.
the second group of people who aren't as
B
good as
team.
B team. Us?
We were on the B team.
I think we were on like
Yeah, I
B
think
team.
we're on the C team.
Yeah, Pine Pony and me. I was a really professional rider. Anyways, what I loved is to have a B team product. So obviously we always want to sell A team, right?
do.
So
The
Corey and
highest
I-
margin.
Highest margin. So I want people, if I'm going to relate this to cookie classes, I want butts and seats. That's my highest margin. We charge $75 a ticket. That's well into profitability for us. I get these emails. Someone says, hey, I want to come, but I want to bring my kid. Can I get a discount? That is a valid question.
Yes,
and
for
it's actually
sure.
a great question
Yeah,
to ask.
absolutely. They're probably not going to get as much value from the class because they're a little kid.
Right. So I wrote her back and I just said the word no. I'm just kidding. I didn't, but that would be such a harsh thing for a very logical
would.
question.
It would.
What I told her, I said, we don't offer discounts, but what we do offer, and you may really like this alternative, is you can come and take the class and then add on a take-home DIY kit. I'll send you the PowerPoint, and you can really, and kids obviously don't want to learn about dough or icing, have a blast, either teaching them if you want to, or you can just let them kind of have fun and
It's
eat
the
it.
solution that person wanted to hear. They don't want to pay a $75 ticket for a little kid. They
And
don't.
guess what? On the take-home DIY kit, I also have a 20% margin.
We do. Yeah.
So not only did I not say no, I said yes if it looks like this. And in both ways, I win. And in both ways, the client also wins. Now, whether they do it or not is up to them.
Yeah.
However, I did not say, now,
No, you gave them a solution to their issue.
You gotta say it like that.
Their issue was price for sure, but you stood with your boundary of no, and you dictated it in a more pleasant way.
and we all had a higher vibe walking away from that conversation.
If
It was
she
an
showed up to
upper.
class, it wouldn't be weird.
No. So, yeah, when you kind of have somebody coming and knocking on your door, understand that you've already expended cost to get that lead.
Yeah,
That's
there's
expensive
some
for you.
time and money behind that person.
That social media post, that community group post, the photography you took to make those posts,
Staging,
time
your little
invested,
props.
copy.
Yes.
That is all time and money. If time is money, time and money invested into getting that lead to knock on the door. Now, can you convert that lead? That's what separates the men's from the boys of the sales world. If you can take that, hey, you're out of my budget, and get into their budget and maintain profitability, you can do it. That is a strategy. That is such a strong way to lead in business.
There is sometimes, and me and Heather just totally, there was no topic for this podcast. We're really just
Yeah, I'm
going
glad we.
fight,
Yeah, I'm going to call this yeah or nay.
What?
Yeah or nay.
Yay or nay. You will have sometimes where you are so far from your target, that customer in your inbox's budget that it does not make sense to even quote them. There, like one lady posted in a local group, and she was like, "I'm looking for a bulk order of cookies, but since I'm buying bulk, I can only afford to pay $2 per cookie." Me, I'm not your baker. So like me, my customers know, do not tag Corey when someone is looking for a discount, because it's so far gone that I am not her target audience. Of course, she had people willing to do the $2 thing. You know, they just wanted business, but it's not worth it for me. So there's some times where you'll be so far from someone that there's no amount of words that will.
In which case you can say no, but you can soften that no blow.
Yeah.
You got to say like, oh, thank you so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it. I can't accommodate that price point. Here's some other options, but if it doesn't work out, no sweat at all. And then sometimes when it's like so far out of scope, I like to say, here's some bakers I'd actually recommend reaching out to. I think they might have more availability for this.
Yeah. Or might be able to help your budget a little bit better.
Yeah. Corey and I like to kind of say, I have Corey proofread a lot of my emails. What's the overall vibes? Like vibes.
Yeah.
Is it an upper? Is it a downer? What you don't want to leave, even a negative conversation, you don't want to necessarily leave it with a downer. You can be like, thank you so much. You know, I like to even say, I heard this quote once, don't put your butts in angry people's faces.
Yeah.
and the joke there is when someone's like, I'm really unhappy about something. Yeah, but you immediately, essentially, yeah, but is just a no.
Yeah.
In disguise.
Think a lot of times people are like, you're out of my budget. Yeah, but I have to accommodate for butter prices.
That's not what
I
they
don't
want
care
to
about your butter prices.
When someone says you're out of my budget, what they're technically, if we could interpret that, is your value proposition isn't there yet. Can you convince me that it is?
Yeah. And sometimes
it's not.
It is the budget and you will not fit in there.
Right. But what I don't want to see is, well, the price of butter's high. We all get it. Inflation's everywhere. The stock market here is loud and clear. But what we want to say is, you know, someone's like, hey, you're out of my budget. Hey, let's work on this. Can we restructure your invoice? What you can do is a comment. I saw Amy post about it. She's like, I'm now offering minis. I was reading an article that Walmart's stock price shot up because higher income earners over 100,000 are opting for Walmart branded food.
I tried to go to Walmart the other day. The crowd.
I know. We're all opting for it.
I almost hit
I will fight you. I will fight you for that. What's the Walmart brand of things? Equate is the skincare, but what's the other stuff?
Great. Good Gather is great value.
Great value.
Great value.
And it is a great value.
I was just like, I'm going to put the car in reverse. I might hit 4 people.
Oh, yeah. Walmart's parking lot. I'm not sure if they're
not caring. They don't. People do not care. They said, hit me, please. I would like to see you. Inflation is taking
when I turn on my reverse lights, assuming that they'll work when I pick up my car, people are like, I will stop right here. I can now see better.
Yeah.
This is a place to stop. I don't know what we did before we had backup cameras. I think it just backed up.
I think it just was like, all right, yeah. There was so much like, not frost, but you know, like when water pebbles on the back of your car.
Oh, dirt.
Not dirt. It was a lot of mist. It looked like.
Yeah, because it was a nasty.
When I backed it up, I said, I don't know what I did before. I said, I cannot see a gosh darn thing right now.
When a little water droplet is on that backup camera, I cannot see. I just have to be like, dear Lord, please let there be no.
The whole world looks upside down from this little tiny droplet.
Someone, I don't know if it was the new BMWs, the little seal comes out and sprays off that camera.
No way.
I don't know if it was like just a temptation or whatever. Me and my Acura, we're going to take a napkin to it.
Well, since we're doing this, take us to the vendor blender. Take us to
this
the vendor blender.
So can I ask, can we see, somebody said, are you going to give us a strategy? I don't know.
A strategy of buying things? Okay, I will
Here's
say.
the thing I'll say. My strategy. Go ahead.
Okay, from what I saw last year.
Okay.
These shops aren't guaranteed the products the whole day.
That's a great, let's talk about what we saw last year since that was the first one. All right. So since I opened the door.
I finish
sorry.
I don't feel like I was done.
I feel like you're feisty today. And I'm going to let you continue.
Why am I feisty today?
Why are you?
It's because my husband's outside raking leaves. You know, like when you come home and you see your spouse's car and you're like, oh my God, they're home.
Why do you think I'm thinking about?
When everyone got into the vendor blender group at 12:01 a.m.
I think you were.
I was awake and then I went to bed. At 12:01, people were buying because you have to realize not everyone's in the United States.
I think we did.
No, we did not. Maybe a little later in the day. Go earlier. Everyone got in there. And at the top of the vendor blender group will be the discount codes for each shop. So you don't have to wait for them to make their post. It's just there. So a lot of people got in, bought stuff, went to bed.
That's why go on.
So they sold some of the products out.
I think Core Backers did.
Core Backer sold out. Some of the other shops had like specialty items that they didn't no longer have.
Right. So what I saw last year is because of the hype and FOMO, nobody's doing anything really on Thanksgiving because everything's closed. Yeah. A lot of the group members that were pending, they were waiting to get in at midnight. And then you have that like shopping rush. They're just going to come in, buy whatever they had on their wish list, and then go to bed.
Yeah.
So we saw probably the strongest sales numbers were at midnight.
We're at midnight. And then if you imagine people were sleeping,
We're talking Eastern Standard Time here for this podcast. So after midnight, around 1, insane slow.
Yeah.
Because everyone went to bed.
Yeah.
And also, like, I had to go to bed eventually too, so I didn't approve any of the posts, but nobody had made any. And I'm also going to tell them not to make any in that time as well. So you can obviously shop throughout any amount of this time, but at midnight, there's going to be an increase in people purchasing, then a lull until about 6, 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
At 6, 7, 8, you're going to see the resurgence, but it's going to be a little bit more consistent throughout the day. It really started tanking around, I think, like 6 or 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden the vendors are like, hey, can I throw in an extra giveaway?
Yeah, we did. We let it open. My strategy would be to, on the 24th, add things to your cart. Add things
What if it isn't? Save your cart.
to your cart.
I'd make a spreadsheet.
To me, what, with links and add it quickly to your cart?
Yeah.
Most of the time when I add things to my cart, it will stay in there.
They have to have their, thing made that way.
Yeah, Etsy shops, it'll
Etsy
stay
shops
in
is
your cart.
solid. I think Acorn backers. It depends on their host, really.
What's great about the Etsy shops, and we do have quite a few Etsy shops that will be doing it, right? You can add it to your cart.
You actually be surprised there's only 2 or 3 Etsy things.
No.
Maybe 5.
Some of the companies are big, like Bobby's is an Etsy shop.
But is she an Etsy shop? Let me check.
And Sweeping Olive is an Etsy shop.
She is too. Okay, let's see.
And Sugar Dash Co. is also an Etsy shop.
Okay, Bobby's is Wonderland Cutters is mixing with MJ is Equinox Pastry Supply. Okay, I'm wrong. Sweet Frosted by KC. Vanilla and Confetti is, hold on. Cute Cookie Kits with Lauren is. Home Sweet Bakery by Soul Cruz is. And
So a ton of
Sweeping
Etsy
Golf
shops.
didn't use her Etsy link.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah, that's most of them. And the Sugar Dash Co. is, and that's it.
So a ton of Etsy shops. What you can do is add things to your cart the night before.
That's smart.
What's great about Etsy is no matter what you're buying from different companies, it's different shipping. So if you want to go add all your Bobby's things, check out with that. You can. It doesn't, if you buy from Bobby's and then buy from another shop, it's not going to be cheaper shipping. Each Etsy business has its own shipping thing. So it's not like I have to add it all to my cart before I shop out. No, you can add it to your cart, check out, and then go add the next one.
Shop out?
I did, but I was hoping
I was
you
like,
did
were you
not.
going to do checkout?
It sounded really
ship
good.
Out?
Shop out.
Shop out. I was like, we're going to punch out. We're going to shop out at the end of the day.
Shop out. It sounded like a Black Friday. Like,
I'm shopping out, guys.
Yeah, I'm shopping
guys,
out.
I'll be back later. I'm shopping
I
out.
shopped out.
Shopped out. I'm done.
I got no more money. So I would say
like
add
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Etsy shops, you could also, I would create a spreadsheet for any non-Etsy shops. Again, I should post up the shops and their websites now so people can start doing that. I'll do that soon. I would say, create your want list, and then kind of, if you have time, I mean, it would be ideal to put your order in as soon as possible. On the digital shops, obviously there's no expiration. Like the Cookie College is a digital product, so there's no cap for us.
Right.
I don't know if Bakery Tico, I don't know if she prints on demand or if she has a set stock
Number,
supply.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I know Natalie only has probably so many airbrush machines.
I think so.
But STLs, again, that's going to be endless.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's the way they have their shop set up.
I know. It's very interesting. Again, in Etsy, if you have an order minimum, I think it still includes digital download, like an STL would count towards that.
Yeah.
So that'd be a strategy as well. So I'd say definitely stay in the group for as long as you can. We'll be having these door prizes. Again, I did the values over 2,000 in door prizes, and the Eddie giveaway is $3,000.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy a single thing to be eligible for a door prize.
Right. I said the door prize this year, we're going to keep it super stupid simple. We're going to, what is it, shop out? We're going to shop out the door prize. We're going to have them make a post, and they'll have to pick somebody from the comment section. No purchase required.
Right. No proving, no order number stuff.
I don't want to deal with any order issues this time. I did say that every shop must have an instant receipt, a proof of purchase, so that nobody's asking, like, did I buy something?
Also, me and Heather are just your hosts for the Vendor Blender. We will not have any answers for
When
you.
you go to an airport, We are the people with the lights outside. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We're not the airplane. We're not the pilot.
That's all you know. So if you had an issue with an order for your shop, me and Heather are not the people to give you the answer because we'll just direct you back
This
to
year,
that
I
shop.
collected everyone's public support email so
Good.
that you can email that shop directly. Don't really want comments in the group saying, I need help. No, you just can email that vendor immediately, get that immediate response, and start that correspondence.
Which we're also doing, and we learned this last year, we'll be keeping all the vendor blender talk within the vendor blender. Instead of allowing like random posts like, does anyone still have the discount for this vendor blender thing? Right.
Oh, yeah. After the Vendy Blendy, it's as if in all groups, the vendor blender never happened.
Yeah. And that's just to keep, the vendor blender shops safe. You know, we only require them to have the discount for 24 hours.
And they're doing quite a hefty discount. So we want to respect that discount and not take advantage. You know, I know that some of these vendors are not on the East Coast. So at the end of the 24 hours of the East Coast time frame, that's all they were required to have.
Also, last year we ran into this. Last year was our first year, if you don't know. So we learned a lot. Some people took screenshots of the discounts and posted them in other groups.
Yeah, well.
I don't honestly care.
I don't think the vendors mind.
I don't think they mind. I cannot stop that though.
But what the vendor can do is disable a discount.
And
so
they
that's
can,
on
yes.
them. Then
I know.
yes,
I don't know
all.
why you guys thought you were like being like these covert.
Just come to the group. Come to the
invite 'em
Vendy
to the
group. Then everyone could possibly win a door prize. There is no requirement to be in any other sugar cookie marketing group to join the Vendy Blending.
Yeah. You can bring, if you want your spouse to buy you something specific in there, invite them. You do not have to be a baker.
Yeah. So I think that what we'll do is nobody's allowed to make posts except for the vendors. It will be a post approval group. Anybody can make a comment, ask a question. I highly encourage you if you bought from a vendor in the past, say how much you liked it. Help them with their sales. It is very gracious of them to offer these types of discounts to us, and along with paying into the door prize of the Eddie, almost probably 70% of the people are giving away door prizes as well.
I know. Which and there's some great, door prizes. I know if you missed it, Heather covered what they're giving away. Maybe in last week's podcast, maybe 2 weeks ago.
You can go there now if you want. I haven't called me and pick up my car yet.
Poo-poo. Gosh darn it! I want to go out.
So we had Darcy Heater. She just signed up. She's the most recent vendor. She did a royal icing mixer and 2 cookie kits valued at $229 is her door prize.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Right. And then Bobby is doing a $100 gift card. Wait. Let me see what the rest of this one is. She said a $100 gift card and a testimonial of how great it is to have Heather grab your face and profess her love.
Can you explain
at $100
what you did?
When we were at CookieCon,
we met the infamous Bobby of Bobby's Cutters.
Yeah, and somebody was like, somebody's like, can I take your photos? Okay, yeah. And then I don't know, it just felt right. It just felt right. So I grab her face in this romantic kind of way, and we take this photo, and then Bobby's like, did you grab my face? And I'm like, hello, my name's Heather. Anyways, we've been in love ever since. But she sent you those things. Explain to us what you ordered from Bobby's and what they are. And I think they'll be included.
I think they might be.
They might be?
I don't know. It's a cookie stamp. They are custom, though. But they're in our Etsy shop. That's where I order mine. If you know, my Twinterest about 2 weeks ago was Bobby's cookie stamps. But I finally made a reel for you guys to show you how to actually use them. But I got one that says thank you. I got one that says Mixing Bowl Cookie Company. We have one that says Sugar Cookie Classes, but Bobby slipped one in there that said favorite twin and sent it to me. But if you want to see how cookie stamps work, they're great. And what I love them for is to include them on my thank you cookie. So the thank you cookie that I include is usually on the outside of the box, so the customer can eat it in the car. But turn it around, it says thank you. It says
so somebody asked about on your reel, and I was curious what they
I have to test it out.
What do they ask?
Mesh mats.
Okay.
Bake the bottoms flat.
Okay.
It allows more air and more heat into there, so you have these perfectly flat bottoms for the cookies.
Cookie buns.
When I did the cookie stamp,
buns.
I left the thank you, and it was facing upward, so it stayed there during the bake. They want it to be on the bottom of the cookie so they can ice the other side, but a lot of times using a mesh baking mat will bake that out. It will make it flat. So I'll have to test it out.
That's an interesting
I'll have to test it
question.
out.
Now, on your thank you cookie, do you ice it?
I iced the reverse side, so they wanted to ice the other side. So I'll have to test it out. I'm making Ashley a bunch of those DIY kits this week, so maybe I'll test them all.
Tell her to shop out. I think it would be interesting. You know, a lot of people say my cottage law doesn't require labeling, but I want to put my label on each cookie. That is kind of a iffy area, especially if somebody's buying them for a wedding or something, because it feels like you're selling, but you already made the sale. So that little cookie stamp, baked with love by, or thank you from,
or just your mixing bowl cookie coat. I got one, it's 2 lines and it's long, and then I got one that's 3 lines and it's shorter.
Oh, that's smart. That would be like an less intrusive way to market yourself while also not intruding on the client.
Also getting your name out there. I mean, if you didn't have an Eddie,
somebody's gonna flip it
Eddie
over.
could print your logo on the back of a cookie.
Have you seen the prices of an Eddie print card?
Okay, but I'm saying if this, affordable, really easy to go.
Would you put your logo sticker on the back of an order for a vendor? Like say somebody, I have a wedding, I want these to be the gifts. I'm ordering 200. Would you label it? I don't think our laws require it.
We don't. What I would do is if my name was attached to maybe the ingredients list, like, you know, this is not
That's
an
a subtle way
allergy
to do
friendly way, like not allergy friendly. That's a way to be like, I'm helping you, I'll help myself.
Right.
I did just finally, I don't know why this was my not Twinterest yesterday. Oh, because I did the color solution. Bought from Twinsel Studios.
I haven't given her the logo yet. I'm working on it.
No, she made it herself. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Well,
she said you took too long. She said whoever you sent it to is taking so long.
I have it on my to-do
She just
list
made
today.
it. I said, wow, you didn't have to do that. She's
People
amazing.
Really, so it's so funny. In the group, we can have these keywords alerts. So I set twins as a keyword alert, just in case somebody's like, the twins are losers.
Like, I hate twins.
Rude. But Twin Soul Studios constantly shows up. She must be a really great seller.
I finally got it. And I will do a reel on this in a video.
She does custom stamps, right?
Custom stamps but she has the ink that can stamp on a Stello bag.
Oh,
yes.
Smart.
Yes.
That's an iffy one. To sell to a wedding and then logo it.
I know.
That's
I would always maybe run it by the
bride. Yeah, I would probably pitch it this way, like, hey, would you like me to include the allergen?
Or can I include a few business cards?
I don't know. I just don't think they'd buy it.
I don't know. Some people ask me, can you please give me your business card so I can include them on the table?
Thank you, human.
Thank you.
I printed you business cards.
I knew they're so stinking cute. I gotta make a video about it.
It's so funny. So I like the printing company Got Print, mostly because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
But I feel like for their extremely low price, I mean, what's the other one? Sticker Mule. That one's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And I can't always shop those sales. So Got Print, I mean, it always runs a perpetual 10% off if you use the Honey app.
Yes,
extension.
I love that.
But I think for the quality, it's pretty close to just absolutely fine, especially for that price point.
Yeah.
But so Corey's like, can you give me some stickers with my new logo on it? Okay, cool. Here you go. And then Corey's like, look, every one of them, 100% of them is like printed with just like a code on it. There was no image. It looked like a glitch.
I know.
So I emailed GotPrint. And then like when you're submitting like your ticket is like, please do not throw your product away until you receive this response from us. So like, Corey's like, I'm going to throw these away. I said, no, don't. GotPrint's like, yeah, the printed stickers are under the protective labels.
Yeah, I made a video about it too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, someone's like, I would have fallen for it too.
That's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, GotPrint came in clutch yet again. Their prices are very competitive and they do have a lot of printing options.
All right. Definitely don't have text. We definitely do not have a text from yesterday after our only single final one.
So let's just run through again the vendors so people can mentally wrap their head around it.
Go ahead.
But real quick, Vendy Blendy 101, you will not get into the group until November 25th. Now you may be saying, Heather, you keep posting about it though. Yeah, I need that number to be pretty high so that we can get a lot of people waiting to spend their money.
Yes.
So right now I think we're at just over 3,400 pending members, which is actually pretty low in relation to the group of 37,000.
Yeah.
So you may get a bunch of deals and door prize entries that otherwise many people are going to miss out.
Yes.
But yeah, feel free to post about the vendor blender wherever your little heart desires. We'd love to have more people.
Someone did email you and said, hey, I could not read if we were allowed to promote the
Darcy
vendor.
Heater. I said, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Shout it from the mountains.
Yeah.
And then she came in with that clutch door prize. And she's offering 30% off.
So if you wanna get your friends from other cookie groups to be invited to the Vendor.
Yeah, they'll only be in it for 24 hours. They won't have to deal with this too long. AE Core Backers is those back jobs Corey talked about. Really awesome. And she's running 30% off, which is
More
the
I
most
think than she's ever done.
Yeah, that one, if you're thinking about them, I'd highly recommend. I don't think she runs a steeper discount.
I've not ever seen it myself.
Minted Prints, 20% off. Sugar Dash Co., 25% off. Bees Baked Art Supplies, 20% off. I think she might be the one you're talking about with stencils, but I'm not sure. Sam's Cookie Company is a membership plan for cookie printing. A lot of cute cutters. 20% off for that. Sugar.Cookies will have 25% off her transfers. Corey introduced me to transfers. Really cool idea. Busy Bakers will have 20% off, and they have those roll compowders Corey talked about on her reels. The Cookie Box Club is 20% off. Sweet Pink Olive, 30% off, and she has that airbrush that everyone likes. Sweet Details GR will be 20% off of logo packages, which if 2023 is your rebranding dream, that'd be a good place to start. More Decor at 20% off. Cutterly is an app for organizing your cookie cutters, 20% off. Home Sweet Bakery by Soul has amazing recipes, and she'll be doing technically $1 each, which equates to 80% off. People are always like, who's 80% off? Bakery Tico, I have to post about her and Molly Ray's today, and Bakery Tico does hilarious t-shirts. Molly Ray's is giving away a Molly Ray's tote bag. That'll be fun, and she has a bunch of baking classes and merch, 22% off. Cute cookie kits, 20% off, and free shipping over $35. Cookie Artist Directory, 50% off. That was with Janet. She's just launched that. I can tell she's going to make it work. She's everywhere.
Yes.
Brighton Cutters at 30% off. Cookie Cutters, oh my, Mulberry Treats at 20% off. That'll be great for gifts for merch. The Sugar Pot, if you guys like vanilla, which
I just used
what?
My vanilla bean paste from the Sugar Pot.
Oh,
Can I say
you may.
that stuff smelled amazing?
Oh, really?
It looked like so much quality. The vanilla, I use the vanilla bean paste. I still have to use, she has infused sugar that's infused with vanilla, and then she has vanilla extract. But that paste was, mwah.
Yummo. Well, that will be 20% off. Vanilla and confetti will be 20% off of digital downloads. Sweet Cutter Code, 20% off of cookie cutters and STL files. The Cheerful Cutters will be 20% off of everything except for subscription, and that's cookie cutters and STL files. Tasty Tin will have spices at 20% off. Econox Pastry Supply will have baking supplies at 20% off. Cookie Cutters Anonymous, I think we all need to join CCA at 20% off. Wonderful Cutters will be 25% off. The Cookie College, that's us, will be 25% off of that yearly membership. Bobby's Cutters, 20% off. And you could possibly win a testimonial of how great it is when I touch your face. And Darcy Heater will be 30% off of Cookie Cutters and STL files. Quite a nice lineup.
Listen, Cute Cookie Kits sells
Lauren?
the Milton tray printed.
Oh,
What I'm going to need you to do, it says read before buying. So you need to go to the links in here. You have to buy it. You must purchase the STL files from Sweet Treat Envy shop. I will link the correct links below.
I already bought it.
Yeah, then we can buy them. You just need to show that you bought those.
Oh, and she'll print it?
Yeah, she'll print it. You just have to
That's
buy the STL. See, that's what it looks like.
Oh, that's so
what I
funny.
want. That's what I want.
They don't have the M&M one.
Well, I don't need that
Okay.
one. But I just want the, like, she has
The
the
Eddie
flat
circle?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me
Well,
that.
I'm a lazy person, so thank you so much. That'll be a good one. Are you like looking up their shops on your phone?
I'm adding to my cart.
So that'll be great. The Vendy Blendy will start at midnight on November 25th Eastern Standard. So if you're in Central, that'll be 11. If you're Pacific, that'll be 10 p.m.
Whatever you said.
If you live in the Atlantic, that'll be 1. If you live
under
in the
a
UK, not clue. So yeah, definitely check your time zones there, but it should be fun. I'll hype it up in the main group so that we all know the countdown time.
Let's talk about the sponsors. Let's
So
go ahead and give them another
chatty.
shout out.
Great. A-Core is a sponsor. They have been ride or dies
Ride
for
or
sugar
die.
cookie marketing since we had a mere 2 people in the group.
Me and
and Corey. And she runs 20% off. I know she's running 30% off of that Vendy Blendy, so I will say wait.
But if you
one
want to make
week.
sure that nothing sells out,
I did
it's
tell Ashley,
10%.
she was like, hey, I would like to order. I said, you can use the code sugar cookie for 20% off or wait to the Vendy Blendy. And she's like, absolutely not. I want this now. I have an
I
immediate
want the
gratification.
sleep then and I want this now.
Yeah, so she got apricot. It's super
Yeah.
cute. I think you
I
have a bunch
used
of
it.
them.
But she ships fast. So if you...
Yeah, Ashley said, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it's so fast.
she's like, I will get these to you. And they come very, very nicely packaged. If you're going to buy from her already and you're going to buy more than one, I would say get the L brackets.
Get the bracket because you.
It
that would
comes
nice.
in the same shipping,
Yeah.
so you don't have to pay extra shipping, I believe. It depends how
She is
does
also
that.
giving away the bracket set in as a door prize.
Yeah. Next up, we have Royal Batch. What is Royal Batch? It is a meringue powder, and I am now just swear by it. It is what I exclusively use. I absolutely adore it. Sometimes I hate using it in my cooking classes because I hate giving them what I love so much.
I notice you snarl.
Just a little bit. But it is a meringue powder made by a company called Bakety Bake. And she's actually a cooker based in Idaho who came out with this meringue powder because she wanted something that
What
was
a
a little
crazy
easier to
idea
use. Yeah.
that she had. I would love to know her real, like,
I would love
backstory.
to know the backstory. Maybe we should ask her and we can play it on the podcast
Okay.
or something. But you can get 10% off with using the code TWINS, TWINS at checkout. It comes with corn syrup already in there, vanilla extract, and white food coloring. So when you whip that up, it is bright and it is white. And, I used to have this intricate icing recipe that I was like, this is what I have to use. Now I just use what's on her bag and it works great. So every bag comes with the recipe on it. I think you can find the recipe on our website too.
Couldn't find it on the website. But I also didn't click around.
It comes on the 1 pound bag for sure.
Oh, nice,
I just
nice,
bought the
nice.
5 pound bag. It's not on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
but the bag is brand.
I'm sure if you emailed her, she'll send
I'm
it
sure.
to you.
Yeah, you can ask me. I'll tell you what it is.
And then Eddie is our third and final podcast sponsor. Bless Eddie's little soul. He's also the giveaway, the door prize for this Vendy Blendy. All those vendors paid in. Eddie ain't cheap. He knows his worth. He's about as much as a car repair bill. He's about $3,000.
Yeah.
And wow, worth every penny. What a crazy contraption. I can't believe Primera invented something like this.
I know.
I can't believe it got to, market. It is such a crazy idea and it works so well. You can actually print. So imagine Corey and I take a selfie right now. That was when we first opened Eddie. We took a selfie on the phone and then I sent it to the printer and we ate our cookie faces.
We did. The trays that I was just talking about from Cute Cookie Kits are the trays that make it easy to print on Eddie cookies. So it has a manual feed tray that you can do. A lot of people do that. But if you attach this extra 3D printed platter thing, it makes it a lot easier to do marshmallows, macaron tops.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing. Back to the Vendy Blendy. Throughout the day, all the vendors have the ability to make 3 posts, an additional 4th post if they're doing a door prize. But those 3 posts will talk about their products that they're selling. One of those posts will be a Facebook Live. That would be a really cool way, and I'll talk to the vendors
Bobby
about
said,
it.
I'm not going to do the Facebook
Yeah, a lot
Live,
of people
so
don't
you
want to do
have
it. So I was saying that most people opted out of the Facebook Lives, but if they did, I highly encourage them to demonstrate products that they thought you guys would find really interesting. And I think that will be really neat. What are you looking at? You look concerned.
Someone tag.
How does it feel to be so popular? I just dropped a fire meme. Corey said she was going to post it for you guys yesterday. Did not.
Forgot. Totally
posted it
totally
this
forgot.
morning.
I was making dough. Using the sugar pot vanilla.
Bakety bake. Oh, that's icing. No. Yeah.
It is. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is an impromptu thing. The car company still hasn't called me, John.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. Anything else you want to throw at him?
No.
Come on. Think of
What?
something.
Like what?
What's on your Black Friday list that isn't cookie related?
Honestly, I don't think I've made a list.
Yeah. You didn't? And you didn't check it
No.
twice? You didn't get shopped out?
No. My husband's birthday is the day after my birthday.
Or what are you getting Nate?
He wanted little elbow sleeves for lifting.
Marring.
Little.
Marring.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Not what I wanted to hear. What did you ask for? I got you something weird for a birthday.
I got you something weird for a birthday too.
Oh, weird.
yeah.
Should give it out. Just kidding.
Mine's still coming.
Oh, really? I think you're gonna think mine's stupid weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I not going to keep it very long?
The gift has been given. We have this policy my
Yes.
mom made us have this policy. If you give a gift, you cannot ask its current status. You cannot say, why don't I ever see you wearing it? And you have to never ask if it's been donated because the gift has been given and that was the joy of giving.
Now, what I do with any gift I give, it has a little asterisk next to it that if you don't want it anymore, I don't care, but I want first right of refusal before you either donate it or trash it or whatever.
You asked for your birthday. You said upstairs the cat stroller that you gave Summer last year.
And
So
Mom said, I wish I would have kept that.
I know.
said, I wish I would have done.
if you ever brought, I would love to take fee first.
I said, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. It should fold up like a little stroller.
So it's a cat. So imagine a baby stroller, but it's a cat stroller and it has netting where the cat sits so he can't run away, but he can enjoy
walk
the
out.
outside.
My little cat wants to go out the front door at all times. The dude does not want to be at home with me. So I said, you know what? If I could meet him halfway, we could go on walks together.
Do you think I think he'd dig it personally.
I think he'd dig it too.
I don't know that Phoebe would. She does like going outside.
Yeah, but I think Phoebe is a little older and she does not want to be told where 16. to go.
Right. So I don't know I think, will he be chilling like that or will he be like,
but I almost want to take my cat to the mall in the cat stroller.
Corey, let's do it.
I think we should. He needs a little shave. You know, he's got that summer fluff on him.
He does. He does need a little chin.
But I think he would honestly be fine because he's fine in a car.
I'll be so curious. You'll need to do a dry run outside first.
Yeah, I think a few little walks to get him acclimated. Watch me not get a cat stroller for my birthday.
That'd be a bummer. I'll get it for you for Christmas. That'd be a good one. Oh, I asked for a sound collar.
Yeah.
So like when you're snowboarding or when you're walking or when you're walking your cat in a stroller, like you kind of need the ambient noise to realize a car's coming and you need to get out of the way. Mm-hmm. Or like there's somebody behind you trying to get around you. And with earbuds, which I wear at the gym, I cannot hear anything. I mean, they're great at noise blocking.
I have like noise canceling little earbuds and they're doing that what they need to do.
So Bose came out with it. Bose stopped selling theirs a couple of years ago and now Sony sells one. And it's a sound collar. It's a speaker that sits on your shoulders, almost look like a scarf. It would be like that. It looks like
those weird kitschy things where it has a fan on it.
Yeah, no fan, but the audio, the speakers shoot straight up, so it's not completely silent. If somebody was near you, they could hear you. But that said, when you go on a walk, you can still very much hear ambient noise like cars coming, but you can also hear your podcast or YouTube video. So you know what I bought myself? What? Of course, I don't have to pay for it for 4 months. I got YouTube Premium.
Can I get the login?
I don't have a family plan.
Oh.
Did you want
I don't watch YouTube at all.
I don't watch Netflix at all. So YouTube is Netflix. And I really just like, Andrew Huberman podcast.
You do have access to Netflix through your older sister.
But they're about to shut us all down.
I know.
Did you hear that? Netflix is offering a $7 ad plan and shutting down password sharing.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Buy one? Are you going to buy Netflix? Are you going to buy the ad one?
I don't know.
I
know I'm pretty cheap, though.
Netflix.
My expensive gift that I asked for my birthday is Dyson air purifier. Can
I ask why?
I do love air purifiers.
My mom also said giving adults gifts is no fun. Yeah,
it's no fun.
And then wait, because everyone buys themselves whatever they want.
Have I arrived wanting an air purifier, or is this what it is?
Would 20-year-old you
never
be sad that you asked for an air purifier at 34?
Yes, absolutely.
What would 20-year-old you have wanted?
Wanted? Oh, I don't know. I was wild at 20. I don't know.
What?
Mustang little cover window thing.
Oh, Corey had this Mustang. I gotta say, I don't know who let you walk out. What APR it was? I'd love to know.
Insanity.
And Corey bought this Mustang, basically lived on the side of the road getting pulled over. If you think I have a bad driving record, I'm only taking notes over here, buddy.
You know what? Scared straight? Me.
I think at one point a police officer said, I will be throwing the book at you. Or was it a judge?
It was the police officer. And then the judge followed in his footsteps.
The judge did the throwing of the book.
But I asked for the... Oh, did you want to
I got to say the window thing.
Oh, go ahead,
So Corey says, you ended up having to move to Ohio 10 years ago.
Yeah, I did.
And Corey's like, I have this car. I can't take it with me. Me and my over-accommodating caretaking disorder was like, I'll sell it for you. The thing was horrendous.
Heather used it like it was a daily driver.
Then I said, well, it does have a big old trunk. And I had a sports car at the time. So I was like, well, I'm just going to use this to move some stuff around.
And then it got towed.
I ended up selling it to another poor military dude and his wife. They bought it sight unseen and just showed up with a car carrier. I never met them. I want to tell them, like, quick, here's the thing. I had to clean it. I had to rent a rug doctor.
I had spilled a full extra large iced tea from McDonald's right onto the
and then you just let it air dry.
I did. How else was I going to do?
The rug doctor malfunctioned. I don't want the suds that were in the garage.
Me at 20, it was a different life.
A wild ride. I could tell. And one of those window side things had come off, so I had to peel off the other one, and then I had to remove the goo.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to what we were talking about. 34-year-old you saw. Obviously, a fan of Dyson products myself. Yes. Gams has the Dyson vacuum with the laser light.
I have.
Wow.
I have the Dyson hair, not the one you have. The blow dryer. And Peach.
And the air wrap. Well, I'll say I do miss a Dyson blow dryer. I did sell it.
Hair dryer talked you in to a Dyson.
You know what? At CookieCon. I used yours at CookieCon. I said, well, this is so much faster.
Yeah.
I left CookieCon. I got the blow dryer. Then my older sister said, "You're sleeping on the air wrap." So I sold the blow dryer to my mom and my little sister, got the air wrap, and now Ashley, older sister, bought the newest air wrap. Yeah. Apparently it's everything you thought it would be. So I assume that they're, what are you trying to get dust out of the air?
So air purifiers do take dust, dander, microbials.
Is this like
out
a
of the
cookie
air.
move or a healthy family breathing move?
This is going to my cookie room. So I do have one that is in my cookie room. The problem is we had an HVAC person out and they were like, yeah, all the dampers are correct. That room just doesn't get. The house is 20 years old. That specific room that you're doing your cookies in does not get any heat or coldness.
Oh, so is it freezing? Right
it's freezing. So that's why this one is a built-in heater while also being an air purifier.
Oh, the Dyson is a heater?
Yeah. And it's and it blows cold, but not. It doesn't have like
it's not air conditioned.
Yeah, so it's just cold. So I said, yeah, a 3-in-1.
That's nifty. Is it the tall guy?
He's actually half the height. That's why I even liked him a little bit more.
Is the tall guy just a fan?
That is an air purifier with a fan on it. Yeah, but people didn't like the fan part. But it has like 10 different settings on there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
there's a Dyson store at the mall. If you guys ever been on TikTok and there's like this bully that tells you how to use the air wrap. He actually works at Dyson's. He is a bully there too. He was not acting. That was not for show. That was who he was. Because I saw him and I was like, "Are you the guy from TikTok?"
Are you that guy?
And then he just walked away. Okay, I think you are.
So that's on my birthday list.
I get a good. So I got you something. You got me something, and then Mom got us something.
My husband better got me something.
It's weird because you guys' birthday is a day apart. Corey's is on the 22nd. Nate's is on the 23rd. So kind of like might as well just hand each other $100 and walk away.
Usually we do go to dinner.
On the 22nd and the 23rd. You know the 23rd has that movie out with Glenn Powell.
No way.
Another airplane movie.
Oh, we should go see that.
I know.
Yeah. We should wrap up this podcast because that was just turning into chit-chat with Corey and Heather.
Well, we bring you guys to Olive Garden with us. The car guy still hasn't called you. So, okay, guys, we'll see you. We'll see you on Tuesday.
On our birthday. Still have time to text them.
Please text in 571-556-5644. And again, I'd love to get on your Christmas card list. I want to see families. I want to see what you guys look like outside of your Facebook circle.
Yeah.
And that address is 15,000 Potomac Town Place, Suite 245.
Are you going to be
Woodbridge, Virginia?
Sending them your family photo with your 2 snakes?
That would be wild.
I'll take
I have a constant dream that Felicia dies. Constantly. In my head,
she never will die.
No, it's 7 years old, I think.
And it can live to what?
45.
92?
No, 45.
Close enough.
But it's just like it gets out, it gets cold, it gets hot because they're cold blooded.
Just to let her out and hang on you.
Gam
so much
said,
more.
"Do not let that cat out of the house. Don't let the cat get eaten by the snake in this house." Right?
All right, guys. Well, goodbye.